Hey, it's day 5 and last day of Fitter After 35 challenge, and this week have flown by, and I hope you are feeling the same way, that wow, this went so fast, and you start to feel that how you are not the same person as on Monday. So first, quick celebration for yourself that you are still here. So because so many people, they are falling off as these challenges are going on. People are not showing up, they don't keep promises, but you are still here and watching. So allow yourself Friday to celebrate yourself with some nice drink or something, so that you are still here. So if we start a little bit with recap what you have learned during this week, and if you remember, day 1 we talked about how taking more action and trying to improve is all that matters. So if during this week you took more action than some normal week, let's say for example last week or week before, you are doing great. Like metric is not to watch everything, do every assignment what you have in workbook. I hope you have done it, but if you haven't, you don't have to feel guilty that you are behind. So if you look just what you have learned this week, so like day 1 was action is the only way to get results, and we analyzed your starting point. On day 2, you set your concrete goals and setting your milestones. So how to focus on things that are in your control versus are not in your control. So now you have clear outcome and action-based goals. In day 3, we talked about self-sabotage and what is coming in a way between you doing the work and reaching your goals, and why you have been doing these mistakes in the past. So you learned that when you change how you are talking to yourself, you are changing your actions. And as you learned, actions are the only way to change your results. So we went through most common roots of self-sabotage, like all or nothing mindset and thinking, emotional eating, and different fears. On day 4, yesterday, we talked about why your body doesn't see good or bad foods. It sees more calorie and less calorie versus, and more nutritious versus less nutritious foods. And there is that sweet spot where this calorie deficit and hitting your nutritional goals feels good, and how you can learn to listen to your body and where that sweet spot is for you at any given time of in your life. So I also introduced you to different type of dieters. And if you remember what I said in the beginning of the week, many of you came this week with the question, Turo, what I need to do to get fitter to reach my goals? And a better question is that who I need to be to get fitter and reach my body composition goals. And we talked about those 4 types of dieters and how your goal should be to become sustainable beast. And today we are putting all together, and we are talking how to set your individual plan. And there are 5 ingredients and level of action. So step number 1 is setting your starting and individual macros and calories. Number 2 is designing your customized meal and workout plan. And step number 3 is removing those mental blocks. Step number 4 is making data-driven adjustments and not listening your emotions. And step number 5 is executing your reverse diet if necessary. And let's start with the first base. So how to set your calories and macros. So this is all about finding that sweet spot. So because if your calories are too low, you will have very low energy and your metabolic adaptation will be faster. So what I don't want you to do is that you go to MyFitnessPal or some other tracking app and take from there those numbers. So because if you use different kind of calorie calculators, you might get 10 different numbers. So because all those calculators, they are as good as what kind of data you are giving to them. And what I trust, I have my own calorie calculator, what is pretty accurate, but obviously it gives you only as good results and as good numbers as you are giving data. And what confuses the people is that they try to find the perfect number. So the secret is that there is not. And the only number is that you will get what you are going to get is your starting macros. So it's not going to be the same number than your finishing macros. And one of the biggest mistakes is that when their only goal is to lose fat, is that they are trying to be in a deficit all the time. It is the end result, but maybe at your journey right now, you should not be in a deficit. So how to know what is your, like, because even if your goal is, because that is the hardest, like you have maybe some kind of goal body weight or type of how you would like to look, and you are not in there yet, but you are, and you know that to lose fat, you have to be in a calorie deficit, but it doesn't mean that you still have to be all the time while trying to reach that goal in a deficit. And let me explain you why. So let's talk about those 4 phases. What are like, there are 4 phases of this kind of dieting cycle. It's called maintenance, cut, bulk, and reverse, and what all these phases are meaning. So because that maintenance, it's of course for what most people think that how this is going to look like, and this is especially women, and also men are guilty for that, but this is mostly what I see in women. So that you are in a cut more and one more cut. And when you should actually alternate all these phases, and 90% of people will never use these phases. So if you see, I have here on a picture that what is like that. This is the hardest thing to understand, that you are just being in a deficit, creating bigger deficit, trying harder, another deficit, and then at some point you are binging, you are overeating, and then you need to start over. When that cycle of losing fat and gaining strength should look like that you are in a deficit, you go using maintenance periods and then go deficit again. And in between are optional phases, which is that muscle gain and reverse dieting. And or when you have been, when you have been in a maintenance with the purpose for last time. And this is something what people are missing, like that if you have been, let's say, months in a deficit, and then you are not in your goal body weight yet, but if your goal is you start to have these kind of symptoms and feeling that now it's not the right time to diet, but you still keep trying harder, but or think it, if you think it another way, like let's say that you reach your goal body weight. If you have never practiced how to maintain your results, then you are there that, okay, now I'm in my goal. And then you're like, that, what the hell I should do? I have no idea what I should be doing. And usually what happens is that you are getting step by step, you are going back to your old habits where you have been before. And that is causing that slowly, step by step, you are going to gain all lost weight back and losing kind of that hard work and progress what you already made. But when you practice it while you are on your journey, it makes it so much easier than when you actually finally hit that your goal body weight and dream body, and then you know already what you need to do to be able to maintain it. And some of you will need to start reverse dieting, and that is going to be so hard to understand that when is the right time, and that's what we are going to talk. So when it's time to go away from calorie deficit. So it's a phase, and for most cases, it should not be longer than 12 to 16 weeks. And if you have been months or more than that, or years, and I know that there are people who have been decades trying to be in a deficit and that kind of dieter mindset, this is not the right place to be at, and that's why you have to go away every once in a while in a deficit. Even your ultimate goal is still to lose more weight. And but when you know which phase you should be, that setting that first calorie goal, it's getting so much easier. Step number 2 is customized meal and workout plan. So just that you know what to eat, how much and what type of exercises. So phases like hitting your macros, it's meaning that you are learning from foods that you actually enjoy and are eating on daily basis. It's not about being perfect. There is some kind of calorie and protein rates, how much carbs, how much fats, and those are all individual. What is actually just for you on your personal preferences. And because the real goal isn't to hit your macros, it's to develop that consistent input so you can adjust based on feedback your body is telling you, and that data what you are measuring is telling you. And think it this way, that if you are deciding your actions and decisions, you are consistent with them for 30 days and you are starting to get results. If you like them, you keep going, and if not, then you just make adjustments. So there is no perfect point where to get started, how many calories, how much protein. It's just starting with something and then sticking with that consistently for 30 days. If results are good, perfect, that's deal. And then if not, then it's time to make some adjustments. And for meal plans, I personally hate meal plans. If somebody is telling me that I need to eat this and this and this, because I love to, what I love to offer is always examples that how to get, for example, your protein in, what like over 80% people are struggling. So, but there are some tools like, for example, ChatGPT, which is artificial intelligence that can create examples, recipes, and even shopping lists based on your individual preferences and goals within just a couple of seconds. And on that my presentation, it's just my example that if I want to get, for example, 10 meal ideas with my calories, my macros, what my preferences, what my favorite foods are, and protein sources, I get shopping list, everything. There is coming as many, there's possibilities are limitless if you use technology, how to get those ideas. So you get personalized examples within a second. And in my upcoming program, I have a lot of more those kind of, how you can individualize your workouts, how you can plan your meals, setting expiry dates, learning those strategies for mental blocks and so on. But this was just a quick example of what is possible. So what is the individual workout plan? So it's always first question is that how much time you realistically have available. And this is not that I must do 3 times full 60-minute workout, or it's not worth of doing anything. And most successful clients I have been lucky to work with in past 8 years, they always start a little bit less than they ideally would do, especially in the beginning. And after 4 weeks, you have been able to stay consistent, you have kept promises, what you make to yourself, this makes you feel so much better. Like there's a big difference if you, let's say, because I have always, when I start coaching with somebody, we have a discussion and client is coming or people are coming and they tell that I would love to do 3 workouts, 60 minutes or 45 minutes, but I'm not sure because it's like a really busy season with the work and kids and everything. And I said that how you would say that we start, your goal is to make 2 workouts per week for the first month. And you have always option to do that extra workout. But if your goal is to make 2 workouts and you are able to do 2 workouts and maybe some week you are able to get that 3rd workout in, how it makes you feel if you are able to do something extra, or if your goal is to hit 3 workouts and you are kind of missing 1 workout, and in the end you did the same 2 workouts, but there is just that mental aspect, how you feel about yourself, how much momentum you are taking with you when you are able to actually hit those goals, and what is the most important thing, keeping those promises what you make to yourself. And then it's just making adjustments. If you like the results, it's enough to keep going, then keep it. If you feel like that it could be more, I have more time, I have more energy, then it's time to add something, or or reduce something if it's getting too much, because consistency, it beats perfection always. So what is your workout should include? It always depends on your goals. What is your priority goal? But some form of strength training, it's a must for someone over 35 or basically for anyone, some form of strength training, because if you don't do any strength training, you are going to lose muscle mass, and that metabolic adaptation is going to be a lot higher. So some form of, and it don't have to be a lot, but some form of strength training is a must. Pillar number 3 is removing mental blocks. So like we talked in day 3, if you focus on those symptoms, like I was using an example of lower back pain. If you try to treat your lower back pain with painkillers, that symptom is the pain is probably going away after a couple of days, but it will come over and over again. And it's same thing this with the dieting. So if you focus only on symptom, not the cause, like you will end up always turning on your heels. So if you continue, even you reach your weight loss goals or body composition goals, but you still keep eating for emotions, you are not going anywhere, because you are not going to be able to maintain your results. So what I understand, what is this self-sabotage and those mental blocks are the worst thing, is that you want to stay in safety and you want to stay in your comfort zone. But to get different results, if you are happy with your results, keep repeating what you are doing. And if you want to get out of this cycle, if you are not happy with something, you must get out of this comfort zone. And there's a good example. When I was a younger coach, I was focusing only on creating calorie deficit. And if client didn't get results, I was thinking that they were not telling the truth. I didn't blame them, but I was deep inside, I was thinking that they are not telling the truth. But solution was always just to create bigger deficit and try harder. And that was, I learned from I made those mistakes when I started, and I see a lot of coaches are still unfortunately guilty for that, because you just don't know better. I didn't know any better when I started, but because many coaches, they are guilty of giving plan that is working for them. And then when that one thing is working for them, it means that it's going to work for anyone. And this was something what I was thinking and guilty also. But with experience, I have learned that there is no one plan or one solution for everyone. So there are some certain patterns that work for same type of people, but solutions can be always different. And the honest truth is that before you remove your mental blocks and self-sabotage, like eating for emotions, it doesn't matter what kind of results you are getting, because results won't be sustainable anyways. And my job as a coach is to offer you different strategies where you decide what could work for you, because there are so many different strategies. For example, stress eating, eating for emotions. And I hardly never tell that it's going to be only this one solution, what is going to work anyone. But let's say that I have 3 different strategies, and then it's your job to decide that what you think that what could work for me. And because my goal is to educate yourself to see those solutions that could work for you. Because if you really think it, I don't know you, and there is nobody else who knows you better than yourself. And then pillar number 4, with that, creating that your individual plan, is making data-driven decisions. So this is, for example, if you are unsuccessful calorie counter, what I used yesterday as an example, that you are counting your calories, you are counting your macros, you have your individual goals, but you have turned them into a diet. So you make emotional decisions. Is that this is the key part to understand. So this is to learn how to use different phases and learn to listen to your body. So what my job is to learn to help you to recognize that emotion from data. And scale weight is one point of data you should be collecting, or you can collect. It's not necessary, but it's something, it's just the data. And it's one point of data, but not the only thing. And data is always something what helps you to make better decisions and smarter decisions. So what data you should be collecting? And this is not that hard, what many people and coaches try to say that it's hard. Like what kind of data you should be collecting? There are pictures, how your clothes are fitting. Then if there is some non-scale wins, like some kind of habit changes you are able to do, or any other improvements in a real life, if you are making progress in your workouts, if you were able to add more weight and getting stronger in your workouts, or maybe if you are running or doing some cardio, if you were able to increase improve your running time or whatever, but just some kind of progress in workouts. Then there is a kind of quantitative progress, what you should be tracking, how many calories you have been eating, your scale weight. Like I said, this is just the one, but the way how I like to use it, scale weight, is just having an average weight. I personally, and what I recommend to do all my clients, I weigh myself every single day. I collect it, but I use only the average weight per week, and there you see trends, because the day-to-day weight, it's going to fluctuate anyways. But when you have average weight per week, when you measure it every single day, it's giving you pretty good estimate what is actually going on. And then next is the measurements that you see because fat loss and weight loss, they are different things. So then about that reverse dieting. So this is pillar number 5 with your plan. So how to execute your reverse diet. And this is something what 95% of people are missing. And this is something what is causing metabolic adaptation. Reverse dieting, it means that you will be able to eat more calories while maintaining your results. So it sounds a little bit too good to be true, but let me explain. So it's not, first of all, it's not necessary. It's basically phase between from going from deficit to maintenance, and you could be going straight from deficit to maintenance, but reverse dieting is just a little bit slower process. And there are just some examples, like Silvia there is a Fitmit Tour of Fitness podcast. It's episode 49/22. Like Silvia, when she came to me, she was eating 1,300 calories and not seeing hardly any results, because she was eating very little. That caused that she was always binging, overeating every once in a while. And honest truth was that she was not eating 1,300 calories. But what we started to do, we started to add calories week by week. And within 3 months, we cut her calories up to 2,400, 2,500. And so over 1,000 calories more. While during this time, she lost 3 kilos of weight, got a lot stronger in workouts, improved relationship with food, reduced binging, and body was a lot more toned, a lot more energy. So many benefits when you are doing it, and doing it in a right way, that what is not, because if you are always on that restrictive mindset, try to eat very little, and then you end up self-sabotaging your own progress. Lucas was kind of same situation. He started, there's a Fitmit Tour of Fitness podcast, episode 8/21 is the episode with Lucas. And Lucas came to me. He started to lose weight, was doing great job first 6 months, seeing a lot of progress, but then eating very little calories, and progress was not there anymore. And the reason was that he was working out way too much and eating way too little, what caused that he couldn't see results, and he couldn't believe it. When we started actually program, I said that you don't believe me if you are going to tell this to someone, that coach is recommending you to reduce workouts, starting to eat more. But he was like that, this is scariest thing that he have ever done. But when he was doing it, he actually started to see results and started to lose weight when he was starting to eat more calories. And this is not some magical solution that it's because you might think that you are eating less calories, but then often what happens, like in Sylvia's case, that she was then pinching, and at some point when she was not tracking, she was eating more calories than she should, and that was causing that she was actually not eating so little as she thought, but it was so hard mentally to do it. And reverse diet, it's very simple, actually. It's not difficult to do, but it's not easy mentally to do, because mentally you have all those insecurities that you are thinking that, is this the right phase? How can I, if I eat more, I for sure, because I know you have learned that only way to lose weight or see progress is with restrictive behavior. But this is not true. And this is, if you try to only have that restrictive mindset, it's not going to, you are not going to go anywhere. So it just means slowly adding your calories to your diet, allowing your body time to adapt. And like I said, you could add calories overnight, but the only difference is that the amount of weight you gained on the scale in the beginning, and it's, if you use reverse dieting approach, it's more you have if you add overnight, because you don't know how much your maintenance is. And if you add, let's say that we could add with Sylvia 1,000 calories overnight, that would be way too much food at one time to almost double your food intake, and then we would know how much her maintenance is. If we would make some mistakes, or her metabolism would be adapted a lot more than we thought, then she would start to gain fat, and obviously that was something what you don't want to do. So it's a little bit mentally easier for someone who is having those kind of fears of gaining fat and stuff, but it's basically it's not necessary. But maintenance is all what you need. And most of us, they are trying to find some kind of that there is something wrong with me solution. Like trust me, I have worked with so many people, and 95% of people have nothing wrong with their body or their metabolism. And this is why this is happening is that because if you look social media, you see posts where influencers, they are claiming that it's your hormones, it's your blood sugar, it's some foods what you should not be eating. And the only reason why they are doing it is that they try to sell their city programs or some kind of supplements, and or some machines to measure your blood sugar or whatever. And if you are not sure, make some lab tests and to see that everything is okay. I have worked with so many people that they think that there is something wrong with the thyroid or hormones or something, and when they do those tests, there is coming out that everything is okay. There is nothing wrong with their body. It's just the lack of either consistency or using wrong methods. But obviously, I'm not saying that there are people who have some kind of hormonal disbalances, but those are often caused by either lack of sleep, eating too little, not working out enough, or not moving enough, and or having overweight. So there is no some magical solution. It's often those influencers and some coaches, they are creating that need to buy their city program with something what you actually wouldn't need. That if you just focus on principle basic things and keep repeating them, they are fixing them. It's fixing automatically, and there is nothing wrong with you. And but there are some like other metrics like sleep, stress. If you are tracking how accurately you are tracking, are you overestimating your energy out? But still, the biggest reason is your own beliefs. And if I love to tell a couple of stories how those beliefs, you might think that how my beliefs is affecting to my body and my behaviors. Like we talked in day 3 that your beliefs are changing your actions, and here are a couple examples. So there was an interesting study that I learned from nutritionist Astrid Naranjo in my podcast, when there were people who had a PCOS, and they found it hard to lose weight when they were told that there is something wrong with their body. But then exactly the same people, those who were diagnosed with PCOS, they started suddenly to lose weight and make progress when they had a plan. And they were told that with this plan, with PCOS, it's going to be possible. And they started to believe that it's possible. It was exactly the same plan than what was not working before. The only difference was what was changing was their beliefs, that they started to believe that it's possible and there is nothing wrong with your body. So this is how you change. When you change your beliefs, you start to believe things, and you are changing your actions, and you are getting some results. And other good example was the same thing when some runner called Roger Bannister was the first man who broke the magical 4-minute mark in a mile in 1954. So until it was impossible to achieve it, but it was thought earlier that it's impossible to run a mile under 4 minutes. And then when that Roger Bannister achieved it, within 1 year after that, there were 37 runners who were able to do it. And by 2021, over 1,600 runners have done it. And the only thing what changed was their belief that it's possible. But and it was exactly the same results were shown in that PCOS study. And that's why I say that you should always be starting from your beliefs. In my upcoming Be Sustainable Peace program, I'm going to tell you what to do exactly when you have that fear that it's not working, if it's going to work or if it's not going to work, or should I add or reduce calories? If yes, how much? And this is what I'm going to teach you in my upcoming program. So this was now you have your 5-step plan. So what you are going to do, my question to you is that what you are going to do with that information. Are you taking this all you learned and say that it was, wow, Turo, thank you, it was really eye-opening and nice thing to learn, or are you going to put it into action? So this is what is my question to you. So I know that many of you are really scared. You put your focus on the past, and if you put all your focus on the past and all failures you have made, and you are thinking that, is this going to work? Am I able to stay consistent? That I have tried so many things, but nothing worked for me. But honest truth is that you are looking only behind. And that, my friend, is blocking you from looking forward and having success in the future. And I will tell you a secret. If you want to have results, you must stop looking back. You can use those experiences as a lesson, and all your failures, what you have done, they are nothing else than a lesson. They are not any guarantee about anything what will happen in the future. So look only in the future and in front, and start to believe that this is really possible for you, because I'm here to tell you that it is, and I have proof to show it. There are some sentences what are often very, very difficult to accept emotionally, and especially if you have been in a misery for years and years with your circumstances or someone else's behavior. And I'm not here to just justify and judge your situation, and it can be because it can be very challenging, and I know it as a fact. But until you can say deeply and honestly, I am what I am today because of the decisions I made yesterday. And when you can face your fears and start making smarter, data-driven decisions, your life will start to change. So I have been lucky to help literally over 1,000 people at this point. Even though I would love to pat myself on the back and say that I did amazing job, the honest truth is that I can't do it. There was not a single person that I could do the work. They all did themselves. There is not some quick fix. You need to do the work. And if you are not willing to do it, I'm not here to help you. I can't help you if you are not willing to do the work. But if you are willing to do the work, I'm here to help you in all possible ways I can. And this week was all about to serve you. I hope you learned something and started to see things differently. I hope you have you have created your action plan and you are trying to starting to do something with the plan what you have created. I'm not here trying to sell you anything. My upcoming Be Sustainable Beast program is not even open yet. It will open in a couple of days, and in a couple of days I will tell you what this program is all about. And if you want to be in a first line and get exclusive discount, then go to my profile and sign up for this challenge. If you haven't been signing up for this challenge before, you can still do it. The link is still there until the program is open. So you will get exclusive discount for this program. So thank you for being here. And regardless, if you decide to join the Sustainable Beast program or not, go out there, start taking actions you learned this week and start thinking the question, what I need to be instead of thinking what I should be doing. So thank you for this amazing week. And I would appreciate this. I would love to hear from in a Facebook group, what was your biggest takeaway from this week? So your homework is for today is to go to my post in my Facebook group. What was your biggest takeaway and what you loved the most in this 5-day challenge? And see you in the Facebook group. And thank you for being part of this challenge.